Hey guys, Becky here, FiveTwoBaker. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be making this beautiful flower based on Disney's Rapunzel movie, the flower that Mother Gothel uses to rejuvenate herself. You'll notice that mine is pretty faded right now. It's not as vibrant as it was in the pictures, and that's because I keep all my flowers that I do keep here on the windowsill where it gets direct sunlight for most of the day, and so it fades the color. So don't worry, I'm not showing you guys how to make a faded flower. Your flower will be beautiful and will be vibrant, but just explaining why mine is so, whatever. In case you don't follow me on Instagram, I am going to try to make Disney flowers for each of the princesses, Disney inspired flowers. So if you want to follow me for that, don't forget to hit subscribe, and let's go. All right guys, we're gonna start with our flower paste. You'll need your lily veiner. Any lily veiner should do. You'll need your cornstarch and the dusting brush so nothing gets sticky, a rolling pin, a fluffy brush, and your colors. There'll be a golden yellow, a shiny yellow, a deep purple, and a shiny purple. Your floral tape, I'm desperately low on mine. A veining board. You'll need some thin white wire. Mine is about a 26 gauge, I believe, and a thick carrier wire. Something like an 18 or a 20 gauge should be good. And then a soft foam board. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our wires, make sure they're cut to size, and cut it as long as you want your pistils to be, plus maybe like 2 inches more. You take a tiny bit of paste and roll it all around. You just want the smallest amount of paste. So you see I roll mine and then I take off extra and I get it really, really thin. I don't want fat pistils. And you could twiddle it, but twiddling hurts my thumb, so I just roll my hand over it until it's thin. And what you're going to do is you're going to curl them around in a semicircular fashion. And then just go ahead and fix the parts that you smushed flat. That's where it helps to have it really thin too, because there's not a lot you have to fix since it's so thin. And you're going to want 2 small ones like this, 2 small little circular ones. You'll want a really large circular one, and then 3 straight ones that you arch slightly. You're gonna make them all in the same way. Now to make the lily itself, just like a regular lily, you go ahead and use your veining board, put your flower paste on it, and roll it so that it's not super thin. This isn't like a rose or a dahlia or a lot of other flowers where you just want really, really thin petals. This one you want it to be a little thick. I don't know what size exactly, but you want it to have a little bit of weight to it. Then you go ahead and cut out your flower using your lily cutter. Or you could cut it out by hand. It's not a very difficult flower to cut out. It's a very basic shape. And you'll notice my paste is a little translucent. It's not because the flower is thin, it's just because my paste is translucent. That's just how I make it. I don't add any color to it. So don't think that I made mine super thin. Mine is pretty thick. You're going to make 6 petals and they're all the same size, so easy peasy. I have these 4, and then I'll go ahead and roll it out again and make the additional 2. Now that we have all 6, you're going to go ahead and wire them. So I make my wires about 4 inches long, maybe a little less. Grab your glue, your edible glue, and put the wire in. Now, it's been pretty humid in my area, so I put my wire in pretty far so that about halfway so that it supports it. Usually if it's winter where it's drier, I only put it in maybe a quarter of the way in so that it looks more realistic, but summer humidity calls for a deeper wire. So you go based on your paste and based on your temperature. And the reason the humidity works against this with wire is because then it gets soft, longer, and it breaks off because of the weight. So that's why I'm doing my wire longer or further in. Now you go ahead and thin out the edges. I don't mind that I have a few ruffles on this. It's a little magical, so ruffles are okay. And then you go ahead and vein each of your petals. Give it a little push, pull it right off, and then find something semi-arched. It could be a crate, an apple crate. I have these semi-circle molds that I put it on, and I want it to arch out. So the way a flower would normally open. I don't want a big arch for these. But I don't want it to be completely flat either. That's why I'm putting it on these semicircles. You set those to dry and you start to work on your pistils. Now for these, I'm just going to use a shimmery yellow and I'm just going to cover them on it. It's like the easiest coloring ever. You just dump some out and then just coat it all the way. It's gonna make it super sparkly. You can't see it on camera, but it's super pretty and super sparkly. And I don't use any other color. Now for these straight ones, you want to arch them beforehand. I did this right away, so I have the luxury of arching it after I color it, but I don't want your paste to get hard too quickly and then you can't arch it later. Now for the petals themselves, I bring in that golden yellow, just a plain golden yellow color, and I start to color all the front of the petal except for the center where the purple goes, and then all of the back. And I'm gonna coat it in both colors. You can just mix the shimmery with the regular color and it'll be just fine because it all ends up getting mixed up anyway, but leave that center white so that it doesn't throw off your purple color. You could also color your paste ahead of time so you don't need to use as much dust, but I felt it was throwing off my purple, so that's why I redid it with just clear paste, and then I colored a lot more yellow and then purple. And for this center, I'm going to use a dark purple and a shimmery purple. The dark to give it more color because the shimmer doesn't really give it that much color, and then the shimmer just for shimmer, but it's a purple shimmer so it blends in well. And I go up about halfway down the petal and then I color it in the same shape as the outer petal. So it's thin up top, gets a little thicker as it goes down, and then it thins out again with the bottom. And I make the edges of the purple a little messy. Each edge is a little bit different, and I just drag out the color so that it fades in and it's not a straight color block. And then you add as much as you need to get the depth of the color that you want. Now to assemble it, we're going to grab our longest swirl and attach it to our carrier wire, and then go ahead and attach all of our other little pistils, the straight ones and the swirly ones. And I enjoy symmetry, so mine are like swirl straight, like that, because it just makes me happy to see symmetry. But you can put it however you want. And then you just drag the floral tape at a 45-degree angle all the way down to cover all those wires so they don't bother you later. Now you bring out your dried and colored petals. You bend it back at the base, just a smidge, and you start to attach them. You attach the first 3 so that it's like a triangle. Those will be the inner 3 of your flower. And once you have those inner 3, then you attach the outer 3 in the opening spaces. So it's super pretty. Again, that beautiful symmetry that I love. You arrange and adjust as you're going, and then you just drag your floral tape all the way down and you are done. You can add foliage if you want, a few greens, but I'm leaving mine just like this. So pretty. And that's it, guys. Hopefully you liked it. This is just the start of many more Disney inspired flowers to come. So hopefully you stick around with me. If you liked this video and you found it helpful, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Don't forget to share with your friends, and I will see you guys back for the next flower. Wow.